Hi, yo, what up? It's your boy Bodine, and we are now live. STL versus everybody episode. I don't even remember, but I got my man's in the building, Adam, Meredith.
Thanks for having me, man.
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm feeling good.
So, man, you're a man of many talents. You know what I'm saying? One of the talents that intrigue me, you know what I'm saying, is your martial arts background.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, man.
Start there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I definitely have a lot of interest, man. Yeah, so, dude, it's really weird. Like, I think I probably got into martial arts like a lot of people did. Like watching like the old movies.
Yeah.
Freaking I think we talked about it, like the Three Ninjas.
Three ninjas,
Yeah,
Colt,
dude.
both rock with Colt.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that was the jam. Or like the Karate Kid and all that. Like,
sure.
it's so funny because my girlfriend and I, we were just watching Cobra Kai. Like, it took me a minute to get into it, but I finally did.
The first season was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second one.
You haven't
though.
watched it yet?
Nuh-uh.
I can dig it. Like, I'm definitely excited to see what they do with season 3. It's definitely it's a fun show.
For sure.
But it'll have you messed up real quick because they got these huge fight scenes and everybody's like doing karate and it's like, man, that shit works. It'll have you confused real quick.
Damn.
But it looks cool, man. It's like that's kind of like how it was whenever I was a kid, right? You see those movies and it inspires you to do that. So I did karate as a kid for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think it just got to a point to where like my mom couldn't afford like the testing for the belts.
Yeah.
Like she did everything she could. She actually used to clean the gym so I could like train there.
Really?
Yeah, she was down.
Shout out to Miss Meredith.
Yeah, man. My mom did what she could to like make it happen for sure.
That's
so
dope.
Yeah, so a lot of appreciation there. But like I stopped doing that, and just kind of got into more like traditional sports, football, basketball.
Yeah.
Stopped basketball, got into wrestling. Wrestled through high school, did pretty well there. That's what actually like brought me to St. Louis was like, I got a wrestling scholarship at like a local university at Lindenwood.
And where are you from again?
Jeff City.
Jeff City. Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Middle of nowhere. There's not a whole lot going on there, bro. But yeah, man. So, I came up here on a wrestling scholarship, but I had my son, whenever I was 20, so like going into my sophomore year. So I stopped wrestling in college and I was working and training or working and going to school full time.
Right.
And I still had that itch to compete, right? So it's just it was just like a kind of a natural transition, having been like a fan of like MMA, watching The Ultimate Fighter. Like I feel like we graduated the same year, so it's. Yeah. Did you watch the UFC back then?
Yep.
You watched The Ultimate Fighter.
Who's the first one that won? Was it? I know Chris Lieben was in that group, right?
Yeah, so it's, the big fight was Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner.
Okay,
right,
yeah.
and then like Forrest Griffin won that fight, and it was a big kind of catapulting moment for the UFC, in like MMA as a whole, like the actual sport of MMA. And so I was always a fan, and then whenever I wasn't wrestling anymore, it just kind of got to a point to where I was like, man, dude, like. I want to do something physical. I want to compete, and I want to do something where I feel like I have control. Like I definitely prefer like individual sports over team sports.
Yeah.
So it just kind of seemed like the natural path to try to chase something more than just the regular 9 to 5, and that kind of like is what took me into like fighting and MMA and this whole martial arts world as a whole.
That's dope, man. And so when you decided to pursue MMA,
Yeah.
For like any upcoming like fighters that want to do this like full time,
Yeah.
how is it far as like being able to live off of MMA? Were you able to do that, or did you still have to, work, a 9 to 5 and things of that nature?
Yeah. So, I pretty much always worked a 9 to 5, especially because I had a family and had a lot of responsibilities.
Sure.
And we talked about it some. Like, I work best when there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like, I need a lot of things going on. So, I've always worked a 9 to 5, and a lot of fighters have to work something to make some sort of money because you're not going to make a lot of money fighting, especially in the beginning. Some fighters do pretty well. If you make it to a bigger show, you get some good sponsors, or more in today's climate, you just get larger checks, or maybe you get a bonus if it's the right organization. But man, as a whole, I mean, if you look at the pool of people out there fighting, you're not going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And maybe you make one big check and then you never get that check again. You know what I mean? So it's not really it's not like a career where you're going to make a ton of money. Some people do, just like with any sport. You know, there's a small percentage of it people who make the most. You know, you have like your Conor McGregors and just different folks. But yeah, dude, it's like, especially in the beginning, dude, like you definitely have to like be willing to sacrifice and be broke, kind of live broke, because you're not going to be making a lot of money, but you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time to make the money, right? So. Yeah, dude, it's not an easy path for anybody who like wants to do it. Yeah,
but if you got the love for it though, you're gonna
the passion will keep you going, dude.
Kind of like music, you know what I'm saying? Like I definitely haven't seen the amount of money that I put in, or it's just time. You know what I'm saying? Time equal money. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that either, but I like love it. You know what I'm saying? It's something I'm always do or be involved in. That's, you know, my passion. That's one of my gifts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, dude. Like the martial artist journey is very similar to that of like the artist, or you know, or just like the rapper, or anybody who's like in the music profession.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, dude, you're doing this thing for passion. You know, like you want bigger. Like you have big goals, like you want bigger checks, like you want bigger crowds, like you definitely you kind of seek, at least for me, I was seeking like that external validation, like you want people to know you're the man. Like that feels it feels super, like it feels really good, but you have to like put all this work in, and there's like you have to have faith, right? Like just like the belief it's going to work out. But man, I think what I've learned in hindsight is just that like the recipe to success really isn't that difficult. It's just there's just so many distractions along the way.
Yes, it is.
That will kind of take you off the path, and then that will just set you back even like further. Like for me, it would be like if I lost a fight, instead of getting right back to training, I would maybe I'd fall into a depression and like not train for like 3 months and just drink and like get way overweight. And then and a lot of fighters will do that. Or even if they don't lose, they'll get way out of shape. They'll get way too big. And then now, it's like, because in fighting, man, like you spend so much time for the build-up. Like you can only fight so many times in a year. Like your body can just only take it so often. There are just only so many fights to be had.
Right.
So there's a lot of time in between. Like no sport like fighting, like there's no sport like fighting in the sense that you train for 3 months, 4 months for like a one-time event, right? And then you don't get to run it back like the next day or the next week even usually. It's like now you have to wait months again. Damn. Right? So it's like you have to do everything right in between that time. So even some fighters, they'll just get really fat because there's no fight on the horizon, so they don't have to make weight, and that's just kind of its own issue in itself, like weight cutting. But you'll get too big and you're not being disciplined, and then now you're spending the first part of your camp like getting in shape or getting the weight down.
Is it hard to lose that many pounds?
It can be. It can be. I would typically cut like 20 to 25 pounds. I usually walk around like 190, 195, and I fight at 170.
Okay.
So, but if I was getting really heavy, I'd get up to like 203. Like, that's not good. Like, that's super heavy. And ideally, if I'm in shape, I should be walking around like 185. So, like, even me walking around at like 190, 195, like, that was still like not in shape. Because I couldn't take a short notice fight if I really needed to, or I could probably make the weight, but then I'm going to suffer in performance. So it's just like, man, you just got to always be ready. You can't let the distractions kind of take you away from the mission. Because, like, especially in fighting, there's probably going to be a long period of time where things are going to be really slow for you. So we had a good fighter at our gym, Julius Iglesias, I feel like is the best example of this. There's probably like a 3-year period where he was having trouble getting fights because people would either like drop out, or he just couldn't get people to sign up for whatever the reason.
Is he that good?
Dude, there's a point to where like, one, he is really good, but like two, you just kind of get to this point to where, like you're in this point in your career to where like you're almost in a limbo because like you're too good for some of these amateur people because they don't want to get beat up and they don't want to take that loss.
Yeah.
And like the people you need to fight to get to the next level, like you're more of a risk to them than a reward because they've already done some things and you haven't done enough yet. So it's like, why would they fight you?
So like politics, pretty much.
It can definitely stop you for sure. So, but like Julius, he was just, I mean, he just always just stayed busy in the gym. He stayed in shape. He continued to train. Like he just did what he needed to do. Like he didn't get out of shape. He didn't take the time off. He didn't get fat. So it's just like, whether it's fighting or like in music, you know, you may not be getting a lot of feedback right now, but it's like you just got to keep with the grind and stay, just stay disciplined, right? Because eventually that overnight success, that's not really overnight, right? It was just like 10 years of discipline. Yeah.
And all it takes is that one person to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To get you over. It all it takes is that one, you know, sponsor or, you know what I'm saying, person connected to a big fighting corporation to see you.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, you in there.
Dude, it's just like your network.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Like, who do you know? Who have you connected with?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a downside of fighting, I feel like, because it is super like, who are you connected with? Like, who knows who?
Shoot, I mean, it's pretty much with music too.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, you know, I'm a teacher too. It's like that.
Yeah.
I got my job based off who I knew. You
Yeah.
know, I think, man, you know what? Every job I done got, whether it was Subway
That's all I see.
or, you know what I'm saying,
That's just
Apple,
life.
it was, like who I knew. It wasn't, oh, man, you seem like a, you know what I'm saying, a stand-up guy. Let me give you this job.
Right.
It's, oh, okay, you know so-and-so? All right, cool. Well, you know, I trust their judgment. Come on board.
Yeah, man. People like to do business with people they know.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I feel like in the music industry, though, you have a little bit more control in the fact that you can like really go out and expand that network.
Oh, yeah.
Like on your own. Like in fighting, there's for sure like certain gatekeepers because you're trying to get to like one organization,
Right.
Like the biggest one, or you know whichever one you can. Like you really want. There's only so many destinations to get to, but I feel like in music, the destination is just the world.
Yeah, and then now it's, you know, independent is like the new, you know what I'm saying, thing for everybody
Yeah,
to
bro.
do. So like we don't necessarily have to, you know, go to the big labels to get on or, you know what I'm saying, get fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like with fighters, if you want that big check, you know what I'm saying, UFC or Bellator
Right.
and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, is where a lot of guys are trying to get to.
Yeah, man, that's where everybody's trying to get to. Just what you want those checks, dude.
Yeah.
Just think, man. If you get like a $50,000 bonus check from the UFC, change your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Can for sure.
Yeah.
If you're smart with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing, so you're not doing MMA anymore.
No.
You retired 2017.
Yeah, it's been
That's
about
right?
3.5 years. Since I fought. I just lost the drive. Just didn't really. I didn't really want to compete up until this past week. We were talking about right. Like I went to that jiu-jitsu tournament down in Orlando.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. So when I stopped fighting, I just went headfirst into jiu-jitsu. I think just grappling martial arts just really it just feels like home to me because wrestling being my base, like that is grappling. So I don't really do a ton of stand up anymore these days, but I do. I just went headfirst into jiu-jitsu when I stopped fighting. So I just like my whole game is just elevated immensely since I've been able to focus on it. But I didn't really have the desire to like really compete. Like I've done it because it's a part of just the sport, and it's kind of a part of your progression if you are trying to. Because the ultimate goal is to be a black belt. Like that was the goal when it started. So I didn't really have the desire to really compete a whole lot after fighting, but having done this last, going down to do the Pan Am tournament, and, I lost to a guy who is supposed to be really good, but in my mind I was like, man, if that dude's supposed to be really good, then I must be fucking good too.
Yeah, I seen the fight, man. The dude was on his back like the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like from what it, just based off what I know, kind of sort of with jiu-jitsu, even just looking from like the outside in, if I wasn't, studying MMA,
Yeah.
it like looked like you had the advantage the whole time.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah, he pulled guard, so he kind of put himself in that position. I like jujitsu because I think the beauty is, even if you're on your back, you can still be winning. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, if you see somebody on their back, you're like, oh man, you must be losing. Like you're on your back, but that's not necessarily the case in jujitsu, which is nice. But yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot,
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
It
cause
was super
he like could
frustrating.
have got you on an arm bar or triangle or anything,
Yeah.
but he wasn't even,
He wasn't really doing a
doing that
whole
either.
lot. Yeah, he wrapped me up in what was called a worm guard. I never seen that before. I've been training it all week. Like I said, dude, I was right back to the lab on Monday, bro.
sure.
Yeah, man, just training it. But yeah, he had my lapel wrapped around my leg, and he just held that. Like he looked like I think if I remember correctly, he attempted to attack a couple what looked like triangles, but not having worked the position, like he couldn't even finish the triangle without having let go of that grip, which I don't think he ever did. I think he switched that off. He tried to switch it off to an armbar one time, which I defended pretty quickly. I know I dropped for an ankle at least once. It wasn't threatening really. I did almost take his back. Almost passed a couple of times. He tried to sweep me probably 2 or 3 times. I think what really sealed the deal for him was at the end, he really did go for a sweep, and we kind of were in this transition period where I think if that scramble played out, I would have ended up passing his guard and getting some points there. But I think he did enough in the ref's eyes to just kind of steal it just a little bit. He looked active enough. Even though he didn't really do a whole lot, he played that game is what he did, which is kind of frustrating. I thought he was going to be more excited than that because, dude, when I found out who I was going against and then I started looking him up and whatnot, I'm like, man, this dude's legit, man. Like, he likes to have exciting matches. All he does is compete like every other weekend. It seems like that dude's always, he's like, and I'm like, man, I never compete. So it definitely kind of got to me a little bit. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm going to take this dude serious. And then, like, I get in there, man, and, like, there's something special about, I feel, when you like lock up with another person, whether it's in like fighting or jujitsu or even like Muay Thai, like you get in that clinch and like there's an energy exchange and you can feel that the other person's strength and like you can feel what they're really about in that moment. And it's like, dude, when I grab that dude, I'm like, oh, this dude ain't shit.
And he's supposed to be like number 30.
He was the number one seed, but yeah, I think he's ranked like 32nd in the world for adult brown belt. So I mean, he's a legit dude.
Yeah.
He's good at jiu-jitsu for sure. But like I just like, man, he just couldn't do anything with me. I just felt like I was stronger than him. I kept good positioning. He just had this grip that I just couldn't really solve the puzzle for at the moment. Like if he did that to me right now, I know exactly how to handle it. But it was just kind of one of those things, man. It was a good grip, but it definitely lit a fire in me to where now I just want to compete. And just because I feel like, man, I can do this on that level. Like this dude's supposed to be that good in the world. I'm like, dang, dude, like I'm on that level too. Because I think maybe I just didn't have the belief going into that situation, but like now I know. So it's like, man, dude, I just want to just get out there and do it again.
That's dope, man. and you are a black belt?
No, I'm a brown belt.
Okay, so brown is the level before you get to black?
Right, yeah, yeah. So I started this in like 2009. I started doing jiu-jitsu. So it's been 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But even then, like, once you get black belt, there's still a journey even within that because there's just so many years in between, like degrees. So like the next stripe, or eventually, I think once you get to like the 5th or 6th stripe, then you get like a red black belt, and then it goes to like a red white belt.
Wow.
But it takes a long time. I think to get your red black belt, it's like 31 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like,
I want that belt. I'll be like 65 or 66
cool,
or something.
Man. You know what I noticed? All the old heads that be in the gyms, like they be the most skilled, with the jiu-jitsu. Even my sensei, like he's still good with his hands, but he know that he's, getting older and stuff now. So, that jiu-jitsu be coming in handy.
You gotta be crafty, bro. Yeah. Especially dealing with these young bucks, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they filled with energy, man.
Yeah.
And he be wrapping their ass up, out
Chopping
of
them out.
nowhere. Yep.
Yeah, man. When are you gonna come in and roll with us, bro?
Man, soon. You know what? If not this month, then November for sure.
Yeah.
Because we training for the tournament.
Yeah.
In our on the 31st.
Is that in O'Fallon, Missouri, or
O'Fallon, Missouri?
Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that's be dope.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
Now, so you said kickboxing, Muay Thai.
It's like 3 divisions.
Okay.
Like they got a boxing tournament,
Yeah.
Muay Thai tournament,
Yeah.
and kickboxing.
Which one are you signing up for?
He wants me to do Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he want me to do.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Dang, man. Eat some knees.
Yep.
At least you don't have elbows. There's no elbows
Thank
in
God
amateur
for the
Muay Thai.
elbows.
Yeah,
the
that's
elbows
right.
ain't
Cut.
Yeah. I ain't trying to fuck my face up. It's my moneymaker right here.
You're pretty for that.
Yeah, man.
Dang, man.
But so, you did martial arts, wrestling, what I'm saying, for like years. Now you're doing, the podcast, Outside Perspective.
Yeah.
What made you want to, I know, but what made you want to get into doing like the podcast though?
Yeah. Dude, I think it's the same drive that kind of like put me towards fighting, and that like I just want to build something.
Yeah.
Like I want to build something. I want to do something I enjoy. I think there's kind of a couple different reasons why I wanted to do the podcasting thing. One is just like I'm a fan of podcasts, and like I enjoy it, and I do really enjoy like the craft of hosting a conversation. The deeper I get into podcasting, I realize like there's a big difference between just like conducting an interview and like hosting a conversation. So like I think like anybody can just probably come up with some questions and sit down and just read some questions. And it's not like even that there's an art to that even, but it's different to like creating an environment where you're having like a back and forth dialogue and you're just having a conversation, right? Where people forget about like the fact that you are kind of locked in, you got the headphones on, and we are doing this thing called a podcast, but it's just a conversation between a couple people. Like it doesn't matter if you're like a multi-million-dollar like CEO, or if you're a doctor or whatever the case is. Like right now we're just sitting down having a conversation.
Sure.
So I really enjoy that art and like trying to figure that out. And but then there's like this aspect of like, man, like I want to get better at just like connecting with people, because like naturally like I'm not an empathetic person,
Right.
And with fighting is a very individualistic pursuit. It's a very selfish pursuit. Like there's a lot of times, dude, like I'd miss family events, or I would just skip stuff, dude. I miss a lot of stuff just because I'm just worried about me and what I got to do to pursue this goal. And you kind of couple that with not feeling sorry for people. It's like, damn, dude, like you kind of fall into the habit of saying like people suck. I don't like people, but like that's not true. Like some people do suck for sure.
For sure.
But like not all people. Like we need each other. We really do.
Yeah. I mean, but like at the end of the day though, like what you're doing, like when you was doing the MMA, heavy.
Yeah.
You were trying to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was pursuing your dreams. So sometimes you got to make them sacrifices where you can't, hang with your friends or go to all family gatherings and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, sacrifice is certainly a part of like the recipe for success, right?
Yeah.
No matter the pursuit.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like you definitely got to like pick and choose like wisely, like where you spend your energy.
Yeah.
I'm really big on like auditing the energy that I allow around me, like the people that I allow around me. But like I kind of developed like, maybe with fighting, it was just that it's all about like having a chip on your shoulder. Who's the alpha? Who's the big dog? Like who's the best? And that can kind of make you, I feel like, just a little callous.
For sure.
Yeah, dude. It's like not even like care enough to like want to get to know people. So I definitely wanted to like take the effort to like connect with people and like develop empathy and like really expand my network and who I know, and just I feel like it's definitely like changed me as a person. I'm definitely much more open and outgoing.
I was about to ask you, like, did it make you more like
it did,
like friendly, approachable, conversational?
I think so. Yeah, man. I'm definitely much more honest too. I just feel like I just gotta put myself out there. You know what I mean? Like, just try to live as authentic as possible. Because like I did the 9 to 5 thing for a long time, and I was just never myself there, like ever. It's like, oh man, I can't wait to like get off work so I can go home and just like. Well, so I can go train for one.
Sure.
Normally, so I can go train and be around people I want to do, and then I want to go home and like smoke some weed and go to bed or something. And like I can't do I can't talk about that in the office at the night. So it's like I was never able just to be who I am. And it's just it's definitely refreshing just to be just like an authentic person, just to connect with people. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It ain't meant for everybody,
right?
You know what I mean?
It really is. So yeah, man, it's just kind of it's just a couple of different things, kind of just like really driving to like get me into the podcast world. But like I said, I think the main thing is like I just want to build something. I really want to build an audience. Like I would love to turn that into like the main money maker. You know what I'm saying? Like just live off of having conversations. Like how awesome would that be?
You got like you've had a lot of dope people from STL on your podcast, from artists to videographers to fighters to entrepreneurs to businessmen and everything. So it seems like it's picking up. You know what I'm saying? Steam, man, and people respect you. You know what I'm saying? And hopping on the show. You know what I'm saying? And talking about their life journeys and dropping gems and stuff like that, man. So that's pretty dope.
I'm trying, man. I just want to talk to anybody everywhere. Like anytime I travel, I make sure I take all my podcast stuff with me.
Dope.
Like no matter where I go. But yeah, dude, I definitely want to be like I feel like the goal is to be probably I want to be like the most well-known podcaster in the city. I'm sure you probably have like the same goal, right? It's like you want people to know who the fuck you are and what you're doing.
Definitely.
And yeah, dude, I just want to talk to everybody. I definitely created this huge list of like who's doing what in this city, because you always got to start at home. I mean,
most definitely,
and try to get as deep into the community as you can. There's so many different just groups in this city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't even begin to know them all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if I can just kind of infiltrate some of them and just hopefully it spreads. But yeah, dude, I feel like people will kind of pigeonhole what my podcast is based off what they know me, how they know me. Like if it's jiu-jitsu or from fighting, like, you have like an MMA podcast. Or yeah, like if maybe I sit down with the creative, maybe they'll just focus on the fact that maybe I just sit down with creatives or something. But it's like, yeah, I definitely try to have conversations with people from all walks of life. Yeah, I really do. I don't want to just be like pigeonholed. So I work really hard.
It like kind of reminds me like Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
because Joe Rogan, although he is a MMA sports analyst and all that.
Yeah,
he talks about everything. He talks about UFOs, religion, sex, everything, weed, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and I checked out, a handful of yours before I, was interviewed on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just talked about, whatever came to mind.
Just everything.
And made it interesting.
Yeah, dude. I like to have a good time.
Yeah,
for sure. Rogan is definitely the model. I feel like, I don't ever want to say like my show is like Joe Rogan's, but it is kind of like Joe Rogan's. Mm-hmm. Just because like, I feel like if you want to be successful, just look at who's doing it the best.
Yeah.
And if you can show me somebody who's doing it better than him, then that's cool. But
I don't know
anybody who's really doing it better. I feel like he's just so masterful in the way that he asks questions, and he'll like conduct like his interviews, or he'll like have the kind of like a conversation with like a friend or something. Mm-hmm. Just like I just feel like the way he handles certain things. He just does it so masterfully, for sure.
He's an intelligent dude too.
Yeah,
man. He knows his shit about everything.
Yeah.
It'd be certain like I'll go to Joe Rogan show to like learn some shit. Like, damn,
for sure.
Do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, he has such access to just some of the best people who are in whatever field, which is really nice. So it's a great place to learn. So I feel like as a fan of podcasting, like that's one of the biggest things I always loved about the space is that it kind of feels like it's saturated, but it's really not. Like it's still such a new space. There's so much opportunity. Mm-hmm. But like if you want to learn something, like, or what you have an interest in something, it doesn't really matter what it is. Like there's probably a podcast for it. Mm-hmm. So I just love that about this whole space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you plan on is the podcast on like Apple?
Yeah, dude. It's on every platform. Yeah, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora. Pandora was a hard one to get on. It takes a while to get on that one.
Damn.
But like, yeah, dude, it's pretty much anywhere you can find, find and listen, podcast, YouTube, all that good stuff, man.
Who's some of the people that you want to interview in the city that you haven't interviewed yet?
In the city?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I really don't know, to be honest with you. Like, I'd have to refer to my list. Like, the biggest, and I'm sure there's still probably some really big people, like, in the city that I'm just not thinking of. The biggest people in the city to me were, whenever I started, at least from my perspective. I'm sure there's other people too that I just don't know about them. But where it was Andy Frisella, which he's the CEO of First Form and a few other companies based here in St. Louis. He was like Entrepreneur of the Year. He just has like,
dope.
Yeah, he's just really big in the entrepreneur space. He has a podcast. He had a business podcast, which was the #1 business podcast for like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I had him on the podcast, which was a huge win for me. Like he has like 1.5 million followers,
dope.
And they're like real followers, bro. Like I've had people on the show who have a lot of followers, like 1 million plus, and they've shared my content, and it didn't even affect the show at all. But Andy would put one fucking story clip up, and it was
everybody go check it
everybody
out.
went and checked it out, bro. Like overnight, I had like 300, 400 more followers, and then like the podcast probably did like 2,500 listens in that one night.
Damn.
Like it's crazy. Like he has like legitimate pull. So he was a big one, and then Ben Newman was another really big one I was able to get in the city. He's like a top 10 speaker in the world. He does like mental toughness, and he's like a performance coach. He works with like the University of Alabama. And
was that book that you was talking about, the 75?
75 Hard? That's Andy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Ben's wrote some books. He's written some books. But he's a really good speaker. It's really cool though to like connect with a guy like that, and then now like we regularly interact and kind of talk back and forth a little bit, which is pretty cool. But him, and then the other guy who I didn't get, which his name is Sean Stevenson. He actually doesn't live here anymore, though. He moved to LA, from what I can tell. But he's from here. He was here for a long time. He has a podcast called The Model Health Show. It's like a top health and wellness podcast. And that was a big guy on my list that I really wanted to connect with. But I just wasn't able to get that one done. But yeah, dude, I don't know. There's still plenty of people that to like connect with. I just don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And I have a whole list. I have to like look at my list and see who's on my list.
Justin, he got me hooked to you.
Yeah.
Because I had posted an IG like video.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm looking for more people to interview. That you don't got to be just an entertainer. You can be, whatever you do. You know what I'm saying?
Just doing something.
Get at me, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, you should interview my homie, Adam. He has a podcast. He does MMA with Wham.
Yeah.
And then that's when I checked you out and reached out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you just never know.
You just never know, dude. Yeah, there's so many people to connect with, for sure. Who did you create like a list whenever you started the show? Like who you really wanted to have on?
Not for real, man. I just had like certain people in a mind. You know what I'm saying? But, like now, just to save time and not be trying to get things done at the last minute.
Yeah.
I'll make a list for like the month ahead. Like, all right, let me holler at, so and so for November.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
been running into like difficulties trying to schedule people?
A handful.
It's a pain in the ass.
It is. 'Cause then I had to like find somebody else to like do it on a whim.
Yeah.
Or we just had to freestyle like a show.
Yeah. People cancel on you.
Yeah, it has been that many though.
Yeah.
Everybody for the most part, they want to
through.
come through and talk their story, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's been a couple that was like, I can't make it, something happen, which is understandable.
It happens.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Who are some big people that you really want to get on now?
You know what? Probably like Tyron Woodley.
Like Tyron.
Talk to him about,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would like to
journey.
sit down with Tyron. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Who else,
He's
man?
hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Tyron's hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, man.
Yeah, he is.
We're working on Corey Bush.
Are you?
Talk about her and her, like, journey and things of that nature.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
She just she's in the political field.
Okay.
Who else? I don't know off the top, man.
Yeah, you ever think about trying to get some of the St. Lunatics? Try to get like Kiwan or like Murphy Lee. Yeah,
You know
they're
what I'm saying?
accessible. I think
They are?
they'd be pretty hard to get.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could probably get like Ali or Kiwan or Murphy Lee.
Yeah, we might
I feel like those
have
guys
to do
are
that.
accessible.
I got the connect to get them too.
Really?
So
dude, I want to get them too. I feel like, yeah, man, I feel like in today's age and society, so many more people are like you can get to them like you couldn't ever before, especially through social.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you look at some people, especially like maybe they were famous when we were coming up, but now if you like pull up their Instagram, maybe they have like 70,000 followers. That's not that many. It's really, like it is, but in the grand scheme, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like so, you might have to do some work, but like they're not so like uber famous that like you can't probably sit down and have a conversation with them like a human being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like followers really don't mean anything.
It really doesn't.
It's just good for marketing, bro.
It is.
It doesn't change you as a human.
Because like even with like a whole bunch of followers, you know what I'm saying, only so many really see your stories or interact with it and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how many of those are real? Dude, some people have a lot of followers and they're just bots. Just bottom.
That's all bad. You know, they did like a sweep, you know what I'm saying, a little like an IG bot sweep some years ago. And a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying, got called out for that. I think even Chris Brown got called out for it too. Yep.
Oh, man, I wouldn't be surprised, dude.
Yeah.
People they just want to look cool.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Brown, he's already cool, man.
He already has followers. Like, why are you trying to pad the numbers?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like the Outside Perspective is a pretty dope podcast,
Thanks,
bro.
man. Yeah, man. Just trying to gain some perspective, bro.
Yeah.
Just having conversations.
Yeah. We need more like media outlets here, you know what I mean?
In the city?
Yeah, man, for not just for entertainers but for entrepreneurs, fighters, you know what I'm saying? We like need more outlets for people to speak and be heard.
Yeah.
Because people may not be hip to STLvsErrbody.
Right.
But they're hip to, you know, the Outside Perspective.
Yeah.
Me being on the Outside Perspective may have been the first time somebody ever heard of Bo.
Right.
And it made them want to go check out, you know what I'm saying, you know, my work.
Right.
Somebody may not have heard of Outside Perspective, you know what I'm saying, but they know STLvsErrbody.
Right.
And they hear about you. That makes them want to go check out your podcast or, you know, past fights that you did and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like, we all intertwined.
Yeah, dude, we all need each other, bro.
Yeah,
we all gotta work together.
For sure.
Just grow that network.
Yes, sir.
For real, dude. Yeah, man. I feel like that's kind of like a strategy for growth for me. Like I'm just trying to like connect with people with big networks.
Yeah.
And then just use that to help me grow the show.
Most definitely. That's how it should be, man. That's the smartest way to do it.
We all need each other, bro.
Most definitely.
We really do.
So what's next for Outside Perspective? Like what do you want to take it, you know what I'm saying, in the next year?
Man, I think in the next year, just the plan is just to kind of continue down the same path and just continue to grow and start just monetizing.
Yeah.
Like it's been just over 2 years that the show's been going. So the goal was like to really start monetizing more so by now. Like it's been monetized a little bit through just like affiliate marketing. So if people would go and like buy some CBD through my code, they could save and then I'd get a little kickback from that. But like now the plan is to like really start like getting more like advertising dollars and like try to like turn this into like a viable like type of business.
Sure.
So that's really the plan, man, is just really try to turn this into something that is just going to just continue to reach more people and then just help me like earn a living.
Most definitely.
That's the plan, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Just try to get some sponsors or just reach out to whatever businesses and see what we can make happen that's, you know, beneficial for everybody, dude. You know, just help each other out.
Most definitely. And like you don't, so like besides the podcast, you're also a trainer?
Yeah, man, I do a lot of coaching. Yeah, I've been teaching jiu-jitsu, you know, 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. I do a lot of privates with jiu-jitsu, or I do have a young fighter I've been coaching for the past year and a half or so. So yeah, I do a lot of one-on-one. I do some personal training, some health coaching. I do a little bit of everything right now. Just kind of trying to make it happen. I do some photography and videography. Like,
dope.
Yeah, man, just whatever I can to try to make it happen right now and try to build something. I do have a brand called Imposed Will that I started some time ago.
That's the merch that you be wearing?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the whole idea of that is just like imposing your will, like saying like I will, just having like the mental strength. I feel like there's just so much to like having mental strength and just being disciplined and like what that can do for your life. And but the plan now is to transition and build that more into like a jiu-jitsu line, so like rash guards and gis and different things, and call like that the I will roll line. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of in the works right now too. But there's just so many things to do. You just need to like buckle down and just keep making it happen.
Yeah. Is it hard doing everything on your own? Or do you have like a team that, you know what I'm saying, helps with what you do?
So I feel like as things continue to grow, like I'm gonna have to like build a team. Mm-hmm. I did have a producer for a little bit for the show, with like the coronavirus shutdown and whatnot, and then his kind of travel schedule, we just kind of parted ways. But it's not like right now it's manageable, but and start putting trust in other people, and
most definitely
that's definitely a hard one, right? To like kind of give up that control and get over the fact that like other people can do really good work. It's not like you can always. It's not. Oh, I do everything the best. Like no, it's not the case.
Yeah, you're never gonna get. You may get somewhere, but it's not gonna be as far,
right?
If you do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Even with this whole production here, like. We didn't have all this at first, you know. Yeah. Now we got, you know what I'm saying, Jesse, who does the engineering to make it sound better.
Yeah.
We got Kieris that helps with the, you know what I'm saying, the whole visual production of
it.
So now that takes a lot of, you know, stress off me.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying, Kyle. And we got people that, you know what I'm saying, actually, you know, that's skilled in certain areas to make it, you know, look better.
Yeah. Are you doing all your own scheduling? Are you doing that predominantly? Or do you have...
Yeah, now that I do. You
know
what I'm saying? So I like book the, you know what I'm saying, the people on here.
Yeah.
And handle all that stuff.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, it definitely takes a village, man.
Yeah, it does.
It just allows you to do the things that you're good at and then not have to stress about it. So it was really nice when I had my producer because he was handling pretty much all my video stuff. I would still do the audio, he would do the video. Mm-hmm. And that kind of it worked out. Like we didn't really need much more than that for what we had going on. So it's not really super hard to do it by myself. It was just more convenient, though, to have that other person.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point I'll definitely probably bring somebody else on for the video piece, for sure.
Sure.
Just to make life easier.
Yeah.
Because that frees up my time to do other things.
Your visual production looks good. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were shooting with like a, you know what I'm saying, a nice camera and everything.
I was.
I was like, oh, okay, all right.
So yeah, so there's a big period there where we switched over. We were using the 2 DSLR cameras.
Okay.
And we were having multi-cams. Mm-hmm. But that's what, it was just so much easier whenever I had him doing that piece for me.
Yeah.
And then even whenever I did switch to going back by myself, I was using the single camera with the DSLR, but those only record for like 30 minutes at a time. Right. It's not continuous recording. So I did kind of find a workaround to where like, you know, I could connect it to my phone and then, you know, start and stop it, but it just became too cumbersome. So I went back to my phone to record it just nonstop. Now, I feel like the cameras on phones are pretty good, so it's decent. Yeah. But it's not as sharp as that DSLR. Yeah. There's a little bit of a difference there. And then you got like the multi-cam edits. Like those are pretty nice. Yeah. So
was it hard getting people to come, you know what I'm saying, do the interviews when COVID hit?
You know, when it first, like the shutdown first happened, I feel like I didn't even try because I felt it was just, I feel like me, like most people, you didn't know what was going on, right? So you just kind of just listened to precautions that were in place, and you're not going anywhere, and nobody's really doing anything in person. So like the podcast just stopped. It was kind of harder to like start picking it back up again, just because when is the good time to start having the conversations again? Because for me, I would only do them in person. I just like to do it that way. I didn't really want to do anything over Skype or anything like that. Yeah. You just lose this big piece of the conversation, like this energy exchange. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to sacrifice the quality of those. So like it was like, when do I start trying to have these again in person? And then when is a good time to like actually have other conversations other than COVID or what, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's only a couple conversations to really have. And it's just like, well, am I just going to keep having the same conversation over and over and over like everybody else? Yeah. So it kind of deterred me from doing podcasting. So there's probably like, I don't know, like 4 months I really didn't release too many episodes. Yeah, maybe like 6 or 7 episodes over those 4 months. So it wasn't very good because I was going from 2 a week to basically like none for a month, and like a month I did a little bit, and then like a month or two I didn't really do anything. It was just not very much going on. So like now with things, I'm just like, no, I just got to get back to it and just kind of back in the full swing of things. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to work my way to the city again, just connect with as many people as I can, just gain as much perspective as possible.
For sure. Well, y'all can check them out on IG, Outside Perspective. That's, the IG handle that's on the bottom of the screen. Where else can they check you out at, bro?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, as far as if you want to listen, I'm on every platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, all of those. Yeah, Outside Perspective _podcast on Instagram. You can check me out at Adam Meredith _ for the personal. Yeah, man. Or just go to OutsidePerspectivePodcast.com. I got a website they can check out there. So
for sure, man. Well, what's some words of motivation that you can give like to up and coming, entrepreneurs that's out there trying to chase your dream?
Man, I just feel like for anybody who's just like up and coming, just keep pushing. You know what I mean? Just get started. Like, it's never going to be perfect. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's just out here just doing it. And the people who just keep doing it the longest are the ones who succeed.
Sure.
So just keep grinding, man, and just get better every day.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure having you, bro.
Yeah, bro, appreciate it.
Thank you, man. We're going to have to get in that gym and, you know what I'm saying?
Come on in, bro. Let's do it.
Soon. STLvsErrbody, Bodine. Signing out, Adam Meredith, Outside Perspective Podcast. Make sure y'all check that out. We out.